What's good, Commanders fans? The Washington Commanders select Brian Robinson with their third round pick 98. Now I know the positional value once again. This has kind of been the tail of the tape. Another Bama guy as well, and I like Brian Robinson. I like this pick. I think it's a good player. Did they get the best value? If you want to debate that, fine. Is it a reach? You can argue that too. They get another high floor player. Another high floor is like kind of a guy that they know that is not going to be a bust pick. They're getting the safe pick. This is more of a depth pick as well. The defensive tackle, I forgot his name now, from Alabama. That was a depth pick. This is a guy, and they needed to change the pace running back. I wanted us to draft a running back. I wanted us to get Breece Hall at pick 47. But I'm happy with this pick because, Brian Robinson, he brings something different to the table. He's a more physical runner. He's more of a natural running back. He's more of an in-between the tackles running back. The third down guy, the 4th and 1 guy, 3rd and 1 guy, goal line guy. And he can give Antonio Gibson a break. So he can give a change of pace. Thunder and lightning, we got 3 solid running backs. Gibson, J.D. McKissick, Brian Robinson. They all bring something different to the table. That's what I like about Brian Robinson. He's a bruiser, man. Watching that Cincinnati game where he had 26 carries for 204 yards, they could not tackle that man. Like, he was stiff-arming guys, trucking guys, bouncing off guys. Like, he's an upright runner. He's 6'2". He's a big guy. He's a big fella. 6'2", 200 and what is he like? He's 6'1", 225 pounds. So he's a big guy. He's a big guy. He's hard to bring down. You look at some of the numbers. He's 23 years old. You look at some of the numbers. 891 rushing yards after contact, which was 5th in the Power 5. Runs a 4.53 40-yard dash. Had 6 games of 20 or more carries. So he was a bell cow back for Alabama. He's going to be splitting carries with Gibby, of course. He's not an explosive big play guy. His longest run in college was 36 yards. He had 7 runs of 20 or more yards and 40 runs of 10 or more yards, which was top 10 in FBS. So he's a tough guy, bouncing off tackles. There's one number, and what stood out to me is that he did not fumble last year. Antonio Gibson struggled with fumbles, led running backs with fumbles, which was very concerning for me. So that's a big thing that Brian Robinson does not fumble the football. Had the most missed tackles forced in the season by Alabama running back since 2014, 79 forced missed tackles. The Cincinnati game, he forced 12 missed tackles alone. And he improved catching out of the backfield too. So he had 35 catches for about 296 yards receiving. So in previous years, he wasn't a threat out of the backfield catching the football. But one of the things he does have to work on is pass protection. That's one thing that I've seen. He has to work on pass protection. So one good thing about this is that he was not surprised that he was picking the 3rd round. His agent told him he was going to be picked between the 2nd and the 4th round. This is the first pick that we've had tonight that has not been surprised to be picked. So, but Ron Rivera's draft, it's been a little interesting to say the least. It's been a little iffy, to be honest. You did have some other guys on the board. Leo Chenal. We didn't get Nakobe Dean. The Eagles ended up getting Nakobe Dean, so that hurt a little bit. We did not get a tight end. We didn't get a safety. We didn't get a linebacker yet. Those definitely are some positions of need. Running back, was it a big need? It wasn't, but I do think it helps. I'm happy that we did get another running back. Defensive tackle, that became a need because we released guys. So it is some of the decision making by Ron has definitely been questionable. I give this a B plus. I give this a B plus. I gave the defensive tackle a C minus. But the reason why I give this a B because he's a really good player. I think Brian Roberts is a good player. And people were calling him, he could fill in that Peyton Barber type role that we were missing, that 3rd and 1, 4th and 1 guy. He provides more burst and more explosiveness than what Peyton Barber did. And he has more elusiveness than what a Peyton Barber provided. He can make guys miss. And he just runs in between the tackles. He's a bruiser. Like I said, had 891 yards after contact, which was 12th in the country. This is a quote from Lance Zierlein. He says, Brian Robinson Jr. is a linear runner who is likely to be utilized as a complementary bulldozer to help wear down defenses. Could help Antonio Gibson break some of those longer runs that we want to see. JB Finley says, Ron Rivera highlights Brian Robinson's ability to break tackles and says the Bama running back is a very different back compared to Antonio Gibson and J.D. McKissick. Brian Robinson, talking about his run game, says, I choose to be physical. I try to use my size and my force on defenders. You certainly see that. You certainly see that. Like I said, the only problem I really have is that he does run upright. He looks like he's 6'4" when he's running out there because he just runs upright. That's the only problem really with his game. Ron Rivera talking about adding Robinson and having 3 running backs. He said they may not get 20 carries, but just the physicality, the different nature that he'll bring, we feel pretty good about that. Ron Rivera also says, yeah, Brian Robinson gives them a different type of back. He cited his yards after contact and broken tackles at Alabama. So, Ron Rivera, he looks that stuff up. He said it before, many times before. His strengths, he's built like a linebacker with a broad tapered chest, able to take on a heavy workload, plays the role of battering ram once he's downhill. So, yeah, I think he's a good player. I think it's a solid pick. I think it's a safe pick for the player. I think he's going to be, he's going to have a good 1-2 punch with Antonio Gibson, give Antonio Gibson a little break. Then you get Brian Robinson in there. You just keep, you keep running downhill and tiring that defense out. We went on that 4-game winning streak. We won games by running the football. You help Carson Wentz out. Ron Rivera once again said he wants to add playmakers to the team and add protection for his quarterback. So are we going to get a guard in the 4th or 5th or 6th round? We'll see. We do need some linebacker depth. We definitely could use a safety. I haven't looked at who's available, to be honest with you, but I think it's a solid pick. I think it's a solid pick. The value, once again, you can question it, but I think he's a good player. I really do. I think he's a good player. I do. It's unfortunate we missed out on Leo Chenal. That's a guy that I wanted to. But hey, man, it is what it is. I think it's a solid pick. I give this a B. I give this a B because maybe you could have got a running back in the 4th or 5th round and got a linebacker or a safety right now instead of getting Brian Robinson. But I like the pick. I give it a B because he's a good player and I think he definitely will help. Now, your 3rd round pick, do you want to have a guy who's going to get more carries or get more opportunities instead of somebody who is going to be sharing opportunities? That's the question mark right there. But other than that, I'm fine with the pick. But all right, you guys let me know what you guys think. Hail to the Commanders. Peace.